All right, I know y'all looking for something delicious for your holiday table or anytime during any point of the year. This bread pudding is it. Peach bread pudding with caramel sauce. So the first thing you want to do is we're using sourdough. So you want to use a good artesian loaf, all right? You want something that's dried out. You know, you've been having in your house for about 3 to 4 days. You don't want that that's been there for 10 days. Throw that out. That's going to be molded, all right? But get you something that's a thick loaf that you can use that got a little bit of body to it, all right? Chop it down, cube it up, make it look nice and pretty, just like this. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna transfer this over to a bowl because it's almost time for us to get our hands dirty. Then we're gonna go ahead on and pour over some milk over our bread, all right? This is very important, don't skip this step. And then you wanna squeeze all of that milk into the bread so it can rehydrate that dried bread. This is key to making a delicious bread pudding, especially how we make it down here in New Orleans, all right? So sit that to the side and let's get to making our custard after we wash our hands, of course, all right? So this is going to be the base of our custard. We're going to use some brown sugar, some melted butter, and then we're going to just go ahead on and let them two become one. Whisk it together and have a little bit of fun, all right? So once that starts to look like wet sand, then you're going to go ahead on and crack your eggs, all right? Crack your eggs one at a time and then just make sure it's fully incorporated, all right? So after you finish whipping your eggs, and you probably can add all these eggs one at a time, but it's just the way I was taught how to make a bread pudding to get the custard nice and aerated, to make sure you got all that nice air in it to give it a nice lift when it bakes. That's how you make a custard, all right? So now that that's ready, now we're gonna go ahead on and we're gonna put in our cinnamon, our nutmeg, and our vanilla, okay? So we got our cinnamon, nutmeg, and salt, and now we're gonna add our vanilla. All right, now we're gonna add some more milk to this, and then we're just gonna go ahead on and whip this up. Now, if you don't feel like getting a full day's workout, you can use a hand mixer to whip this up. But I just wanted to use a whisk just to show you how easy it is. Now we're gonna take our rehydrated bread and we're gonna fold that into our custard. But wait, don't forget about the peaches. Once you thaw your frozen peaches, put all of that juice, water, whatever you call it, into it. That has a ton of peach flavor, all right? Then go ahead on, stir it up together to make sure it's nice and combined, all right? Now, I know you're saying it's looking a little loose. Don't worry, trust me. So then we're gonna take a little bit of melted butter in our casserole dish, and then we're just gonna go ahead on and spread that evenly over. Then we're gonna go ahead on and pour all of our custard into this casserole dish. This looks delicious, all right? So here's the secret. After you make sure everything's even, you're gonna pop this into a 350-degree oven for 20 minutes to set the custard. Then you're gonna reduce the temperature to 300 degrees for an hour, hour 20. While that's in the oven, let's make our caramel. So we're gonna take some sugar and some water and a little bit of salt, and we're just gonna go ahead on and stir that together. Now, this is gonna take about 7 minutes to do what it's due, right? But you got the bread pudding in the oven for an hour, so you got time. You got time. All right, so once this comes to a boil about 7 minutes later, you stir it every now and then, but once it gets to that right color, you will notice how beautiful of a amber color we have it. And as you stir it, you will notice it starts to get nice and dark. Now, you just want to be safe if you're doing this, especially if you're letting the kids help you out. You want to make sure you add your heavy cream off the heat and cautious, because it will bubble up and create a nice pump of steam. Yes, pump of steam, because it's going to hit you in your face when you least expect it, all right? So stir that together. Make sure it's all nice and combined, and then your caramel is nice and done, all right? So I like to just put it back over the hot burner just to make sure it cooking just a little bit more. And then look at that, nice, silky, smooth, and delicious, all right? Set that to the side. Don't eat all of this before you finish, okay? Don't eat all this. So after an hour, hour and 20 minutes, look at how beautiful our bread pudding is. It's nice, it's set. Give it a little wiggle. You'll notice that the bread pudding should have a little jiggle to it. Not a lot, just a little, and that bread pudding is perfect. Go ahead on and drizzle it with a little bit of caramel, or a whole lot. It's all up to you. Now it's time to eat. You want to eat this bread pudding warm. This bread pudding pretty damn good, so you can eat it cold, but you want to eat this thing when it's nice and warm. Look at that. Ooh, steaming. Now, we got all that caramel sauce. We're gonna put some more caramel sauce on it before we serve it on up. with a nice scoop of ice cream. Now, you may or may not want to get fancy. It's all up to you. After you get your ice cream on the top, you can serve it with a nice sprig of mint because you know you follow Chef Kenneth Temple, and then you can enjoy it and serve it to your family. You can hit the recipe link down below, hit the like button, hit the share button, drop a comment, let me know how this works out for you and your family during the holidays. Until next time, peace, love, and deliciousness.